Hey guys, have you heard? Ashlee Braxton, the niece of the famous Braxton sisters, is talking about childhood trauma and how it has left her as a young adult and what she's facing now. Join us as we discuss it. We're going to do a deep dive. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the B. Lenore Show. Here we will discuss lifestyle, beauty, celebrity gossip, and current events in our own way, my way, B style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Well, hello, lovers. We are back. We are back today. It's Thursday. It's almost the last day of the first month of 2025. Today is January 30th, Thursday, 2025. I hope you all had a great Thirsty Thursday. Please do me a favor. I know I didn't give much of a heads up that I was going live, so some people may not have received their notifications, but if you hit that like button, that's going to put me out there into the algorithm and tell our family that we are live. All right. But you can also share the live. You can send it via Instagram. You can send it via Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. Hell, you could send it in an email or a text message. I don't give a damn. Call somebody up. Let them know we live. Just share the shit. Okay, had to get that off my chest. Let's see who's here. Hi, Southside Chi-Town. Hey, Shark Tank Life, Granny the Great, Tamara, how are you? The Queen Bee for you reacts. Yes. Let's be clear. Let's be clear is here. Okay. Auntie Gigi is here. Auntie Gigi, thank you so much for being a member for 1 month. All righty then. Okay. Let the people know we're serious. Okay. We got some things to talk about, but we need them to come on in the room, okay? Hey, Susie24, how are you? So I hope everyone had a great Thursday. Mine was uneventful. My complete biological sleeping clock is completely off. I'm sleeping during the day and up all night. So I'm sorry I'm going live so late. But for those of you that are just getting ready for bed, just feel free to snuggle on in and have me in your ear while we talk about some things, okay? But please hit that like button. That's going to be very, very helpful. All right? Excellent. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Ashlee Braxton, who is the niece of the famous Braxton family, the Braxton sisters, with Toni Braxton being the icon of that family. Okay. So Braxton Family Matters has been a show that's been on for several seasons. I think they took a 2 or 3 year break here. But they've come back this last season, and I've got to get caught up. Okay. I got, a little tied up a few weeks ago, so I missed a lot. So I need to get caught up on the Braxton Family Values, the show. But there seems to be another show that's happening outside of the show. And like every other family uh, in the universe, this family has its share of trauma and abuse and misunderstandings and loss and all sorts of things. Okay. So this discussion is not meant to shame anyone, but it is to sort of talk through what we're hearing is going on with the family and what else might be happening. And maybe you can tie it into some things that are going on in your own family or things that you've witnessed in the past. Hi, Shanti R. So first, I want to start off because we're going to talk about and listen to Ashlee Braxton. Ashlee Braxton is the niece of those sisters, of all the sisters, because she actually is the child of Michael Braxton. Michael is the only brother of the Braxton clan. I want to say he's the second child because Tony's the oldest, and then I think it's Mikey. Okay. And he's made appearances on the show. My understanding is, as a profession, he is a professional nurse. I think he's an RN. And he had 2 daughters that I know of. I'm not sure if I don't know if there are 3 kids of his or just 2. But one of his daughters, Lauren, you may have heard, if you followed this family, if you followed the show, there was a loss. They lost a niece of theirs just a few years ago, and that was Mikey's baby girl, I believe. Lauren is Ashlee's sister, and Lauren allegedly passed away from unaliving herself. Okay. Yes. The Queen Be For You reacts, says that he stays out of the spotlight. Yes, but I do believe he tried his hand at being in the spotlight. Obviously, the entire family can sing, and I believe that he has attempted a career as well as a singer. I only saw like one thing really that it looked like an album cover or a record cover, something like that. But for the most part, he does stay out of the limelight. He, Tracy, and the dad all live in the DMV area, whereas the other ladies moved, including the mama, to Atlanta and or Los Angeles. But the brother, Tracy, and the dad all lived in the DMV. So yes, the daughter, Lauren, passed away a few years ago. Tamara says, it seems like the Braxton family holds a lot of secrets. Yes, most families do. Like, let's be real here. Most families hold on to a lot of secrets. And some things aren't for everybody to know, right? But just because we don't know about it doesn't mean that they're not going through it. Hell, how many people know all we go through? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm sure that they do. And then being in the limelight, it doesn't encourage you to want to come out here and tell your business because people are always digging in your business anyway. And it probably feels like you don't have a lot of privacy as it is. So just a thought. Please hit the like button, y'all. Thank you so much. Okay. So we're going to listen to Ashlee Braxton. She is the oldest of the 2 sisters that Mikey had. Again, the younger one passed away from allegedly unaliving herself. It was a drug overdose, is what I understand, allegedly. So, excuse me. So she's going to talk a little bit about some things she's wanted to get off her chest. Okay. She's going to talk about, we're going to hear a little bit about the abuse that she endured as a child. I guess she feels that she was abused, she and her sister in particular. Sounds like I'm not sure if it's definitely by the dad and mom or just the dad. I'm not sure. We're going to listen. She's going to talk about abandonment issues. Her mother left she and her sister. Literally, I guess they were a two-parent household, and the mom picked up and left. Okay? So she's going to talk about what she dealt with where that's concerned. And then she talks a little bit about how she was there were inappropriate advances made towards her by one of the husbands of her aunts. Okay. One of her auntie's husbands, or the husband at the time, allegedly made advances towards her. It was found out by basically I'm guessing she told her aunt or she told a family member, and when it was addressed, at first the aunt was supportive, but later the aunt started to isolate her from the family. Basically, she has not spoken to her aunt. Her aunt's not even with that husband anymore. And I guess there were things that he did that humiliated the aunt while the show was airing. And yet and still, with all the embarrassment that this gentleman put the aunt through, the aunt still has turned her back on her niece, who was inappropriately addressed by this man. I'll put it that way. Okay. Hold on one second. So the Queen B for You reacts says, I remember when Tracy and Tamar said they were abused by a family member. Yes. And then Tamara, because she said it seems like the Braxtons hold a lot of family secrets. And the Queen B for You said, Tam, yes, because in our Black community, we're taught to stay quiet, aren't we? Then I talked about that a couple weeks back. We sure are. We're taught to stay quiet, especially about stuff like this, honey. So we're going to talk about it. Now. People have made some, I don't know, guesses at who they believe this aunt is and who that uncle at the time was, right? And I am going to go along with it because this is what I thought. This is who I thought it was. And apparently this is who the world thinks it is. So I'm just going to say it. I believe that we are talking about Tracy Braxton. I'm sorry, not Tracy. Trina Braxton. We are talking about Trina Braxton and her ex-husband, Gabe. Okay. If you all followed this story, Gabe was notorious for doing something wild and crazy, whether it was cheating. I mean, he was constantly embarrassing this woman. And then her get backs, the things she would do to get back at him, and she would tell us about, were also embarrassing. Like, I know she wanted to embarrass him, but she didn't recognize she was embarrassing herself. Like when she cheated on him because he was cheating on her. And remember, she was um singing in this group she put together. And one of the musicians in the group, she had an affair with. And she said that something like, she made a comment to the sisters because they all had a discussion around it. And she made a comment and said something like, well, we had a oral transaction. Okay. The things that Trina would say, like Trina would get drunk and it was just a lot. Okay. You could tell Trina had dealt with a lot where this man was concerned, but yet still she wasn't willing to stop dealing with the man. All right. Yes. That ain't none of me. Hey, Aunt Natty. Um, hey, the cynical one. Hey, Clear Ashes. Um, that ain't none of me said, hello, all. He sure seemed a little shady. He did seem very shady. He was on some bull crap. And those kids were not even his kids. Although he was hugely, I guess, responsible for helping to raise them. We never really saw anything about their real father. And I don't know. There was just a lot going on with that portion of the family. I mean, everybody's got their bullshit, right? So anyway, let's just start off with what Ashlee had to say. She came out on TikTok. This was last month in December, is when she came out really starting to talk about this. Okay, so let me just share my screen. This is Ashlee. Please hit the like button. Let's listen to what Ashlee has to say.
I'm going to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not talk to me because they think that I, at the age of 16, did something with her partner at the time.
Okay. So can you guys hear that? Because it's very, very low on my end. Put a one in the chat if you could hear her talking. One in the chat. Please hit the like button too, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. Put a one in the chat if you could hear it. A two if you could not hear it. Unfortunately, I can't do anything. Okay. Let's be clear, said you can hear. Okay. Let's be clear, said you could hear. Let's be clear, said you could hear. Okay. All right. Please hit the like button too. All right. So let's go back. She said that one of her sisters, I'm sorry, one of her aunts blames her for something that happened to her at the age of 16 with the aunt's husband. That the aunt believes that she, Ashlee, did something with the aunt's husband. So let's listen.
And I have been a nervous wreck to talk about something like this and to tell this story. A, because of my family. B, because I don't want people, it's not to hurt people to tell my story. But at the same time, I've been working through this so much in therapy, and this is something that goes way deep to my core in terms of worthiness and how I feel about myself. And it's been such a journey. And it's that moment of my life where I have to like fully confront it and face it and talk about it, but talk about it because I also want to shed light for the women and the men and anybody who has gone through something like this, where you were underage and something in that sort of manner happened in terms of that sort of word of abuse. And I feel like I have to be careful with what I'm saying here because I don't want to be banned from talking about these situations, but also we kind of have to talk about it. I'm also not very good at storytelling, and I'm new to all this, and I'm also trying to get ready at the same time and tell a story. And I feel like the story is quite complicated and detailed. So, like, bear with me here. But yeah, so one of my aunts does not talk to me because I guess she felt like I did something with her partner at that time. And nothing happened, but I'm going to try to tell the story quickly and also not name any names. And so I was with this aunt for the summer with my sister, and I can't remember how much time had passed since we were there in the summer for a little bit of time to when we got home. And when I think it was my stepmother was going through my phone and she found this conversation, this sort of conversation. And she showed it to my dad, and my dad called that aunt and we spoke about it and we talked about it a little bit. And I remember just a lot of emotions, was a lot going on. I was 16 at the time and I'm 32 now. I had to think about it. I'm 32 now. And so, oh my God, it's been 16 years. This is wild. Anyway, okay.
So I guess she's saying it's wild because it's been 16 years and she was 16 years old. So what does that make her? 32? So she's 32 and she's, recalling what transpired at the age of 16. And as she mentioned, she had spent some time in the summer. She and her sister had spent some time in the summer with this aunt. So let's listen further.
So, yeah, my aunt was there for me. She was very kind and very nice. And was like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, blah, 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 blah. And not blah, 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 but she was very kind and it just felt like safe, you know? But then as the years have gone by, it's like that mood and that assumption that I didn't do anything because I was a child was not that assumption anymore. And it boggles my mind because it was like, wait, but if it happened or if it was true, then that would make him, you know, and like, you're okay with that?
Right. So at the end of the day, at first, the aunt was, oh, I'm so sorry, so apologetic. I'm so sorry this happened to you. But then as time went on, this aunt shifted her stance, and it sounds like now she's blaming the child because that's what she was at 16. I don't care how much her body was developed. I don't care who else she might have had sex with prior to that moment. I don't care anything about anything other than the fact that she is 16 and this was an adult man who was functioning as an authority in her life, it sounds like, because she had spent time with this aunt and the husband during that summer, she and her sister. So again, he's the one who should be held completely responsible for any inappropriate interactions between the two because he was the adult. But somehow the daughter, or the niece rather, in this case, is being blamed.
Like, that's what you would like to hear. And I will just never forget how when I got older, I just realized that I really had to take the time and go back to that part of my life and understand how much feeling of like I didn't matter, that I was unworthy. It just felt like love from my family was just cut off and gone. And you're like, but wait, that guy? And it made it even worse because it was like, wait, this guy that was doing this to you on TV
Hmm.
And like it's kind of in cohorts in the same spirit of what was happening. Not in the same cohorts in the same spirit, but like, you know, I like it's so painful. And I know that the ladies, the men, the everybody who has experienced this sort of feeling when your family doesn't believe you, or when you're at an age where you shouldn't have been put in that situation to have to navigate it. And however you navigated was however you navigated it. And this is what I learned in therapy is like how I navigated it and how I dealt with it was how I dealt with it. But the most important thing to understand is that I never should have been put in that spot in the first place. And I think that's the devastating part is that you realize that you didn't ask for that. You know, I did not ask for that. No matter what, I didn't ask for that. So I'm just wondering what other people who have gone through this, how they decided to handle this sort of situation. How did you go about telling your truth? And how do you tell your truth in a way that honors you? And I think the reason why I'm addressing it now so much is because I'm getting older. And if I want to have kids, and especially if I want to have girls, like I don't want to still be in that space and place and in that situation and just even having to deal with it, you know? And so next year I'm planning to go to the US and I'm planning to like confront a lot of things because my sister passed away. Like I've just like I fled the country because I was needing to save my own self and my own life. And when I say all of this is not a dig to my family member because it's really sad that she also was put in that situation of having to deal and having to handle. That's not her. Like, I don't wish that upon anyone either. Do you know? There's sympathy there. But there's also so many other aspects of it when you're a child and you're like denied a voice. It's pretty much been like a lifelong battle for me. So it's been a journey, but I appreciate spaces like this where I feel like if I talk about it on social media and I just felt like, I don't know, like I just felt like TikTok was the space and the place to talk about it. And it felt right and it just felt accepted in this community. And so if you've ever been that person, I just want to hear from you. I want to know that you're okay. I want to ask you what sort of work you've done for yourself to get better. Like what sorts of things are you doing to make sure that you heal? And I'm so happy that I'm getting to a place where I'm healing so that then I have the heart and the courage to go heal somebody else, that next person. And not only that, but my aunt as well, you know? So this has not been an easy journey. And I hope that I'm not annihilated on this platform. But I do just, I don't know, like, I love you all and thank you. And if you've ever been that person who's been silenced, like, so much love to you. And you're an amazing person. And don't let anybody, not don't let anybody, because that's easier said than done. But wait, I'm going to go to part 2.
All right. So basically, what she sort of shared with us was that this aunt later blamed her. And she's very clear that she was being blamed because they accused her in some ways as being responsible for the activity between she and that adult uncle, right? And again, we believe that that uncle was Gabe. But anywho, so let's go to the next. Is that the next one? No. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. Where is the next one? Okay, let me go to her next one where she goes to the next part of the story. Okay. Okay, hold on, y'all. I don't know why I can't. Here, I'll just start her over when we get there. Okay, so let me go back. There we go.
Okay, so this is part 2 of my aunt doesn't talk to me because she thinks that I did something with her partner. And if you watched part 1, you could probably understand what's happening. And like I said, it's really difficult to talk about because I just don't want to be I just don't want people to be rude because this happens to people where they've experienced some sort of abuse and then someone's told them that it hasn't happened or that it's their fault or like they've just completely silenced them. Um, and this is something that I really honestly sometimes thought was only or that it was really big in the African American community where we just sweep things under the rug. But then as I like have now lived in Europe for 10 years and I've traveled the world, it happens like it happens across the world, which makes it even more important to talk about because a lot of people are going through this, but they're not allowed to say, or they're embarrassed, or they just feel like it's not something that they can even talk about. So for
Okay, so hold on one second. I want to stop for a second. So Tamara said, didn't she say that her father served her a cease and desist order? I don't know if he served it, but he definitely called her and told her that if she continues to tell this story, if she continues to talk about this stuff out here, that she is going to get sued. Now, I don't know if he served her. I can't remember for sure, but he definitely warned her that if she continued to tell this story, that she would be sued for doing so. And that's unfortunate because she's telling her story. It's not even like she's out here talking gossip about her family and the things that she's heard or seen, nothing like that. She's specifically talking about what she went through, right? And the family's not happy with that. Why? Because many people, especially Black people, we feel that you keep this business in this house, period. All right. We don't tell all our business to everybody. We keep it in house. And that's so unfair because a lot of things go unaddressed because we're trying to keep shit in the house. And even while it's in the house, we are afraid to address the problem at hand. So, yes, so there's some things happening behind regarding this. So let's listen.
so for me it was difficult because I realized my that my aunt was starting to feel this way I initiated or that was not like I'm a part of the problem to blame. And I was saying before that I never should have been put in that situation as a kid at all, ever, especially when there's an adult involved. But yeah, okay, I was saying that this happens around the world. Uh, and I was asking the people who have gone through something like this to start sharing their stories and to start talking about it because I don't feel like we talk about it enough. And I have a lot of friends who have opened up to me who told me that the same things or that has happened to them. And I hate that we can bond about something like that, but at the same time, I'm so grateful that I can give them a space and a place that they also have a voice because losing your voice about it is no fun. So I wanted to know how you guys were or how you handled it or like how you dealt with it in your life. And I think I'm getting older. I'm ready to have kids soon. Like I can't be going through this anymore. And so I essentially left the US in 2014 and I went to Paris and I was there for about 4, almost 5 years. And I'm so irritated at myself because I left right before I was supposed to get um, my citizenship there. But anyway, and now I'm here in Barcelona, Spain. I've been in Europe for almost like 9 years now. And this subject has just come up for me and my therapy. And I'm addressing it and I'm talking about it and I'm shedding light on it and I'm shedding awareness on it. And I just want to encourage other people to share your story and to find love and to find self love for yourself and for everyone else involved. And just know and understand that it's not your fault. And I know that you did not ask life to give you this because that's like another weird misconception. Is like, I feel like people are like, you asked for it. Like, why would I ask for that? It doesn't make any sense. But that you don't let it get to you and you find a way to release yourself and to feel loved and to feel appreciated and just felt beautiful. And so I'm excited to tackle this journey and just like have a support system behind me and talk about it with people who I know wouldn't judge me and just who get me and encourage everybody else to to practice love and to practice self-love. And you didn't ask for it, but you have to deal with it. And you're dealing with it like you're worthy enough to just at some point love it and talk about it and like love yourself. I think one of the most important things that I've done since I've moved to Europe and figured out who I am as a person and let go of maybe what I internally pressured myself to what I thought I needed to be was to find my own, oh gosh, was to find my own values of life. And I feel like, hold on 1 second. Anyway, I feel like I did that and I made my own values for myself and I'm gonna grow with my family, but also find the love to create a boundary and a space in place for my relationship with my own family to grow. So that's it, you guys. I have to get dressed and I have to get ready. Hope you guys do not annihilate me for this, but this is for you, little lady or big lady or matured adults, beautiful flower. This one is for you and you're just so worthy. Okay, I'm gonna go, but thanks guys. Bye. I'm on my couch.
Okay. Before we get into this next one, let me say this. Thank you, Sleepy Libra, for coming through. Honey, you ain't got to know the story, though. We'll tell you all about the story. This is about Toni Braxton's niece, Tamar Braxton's niece, Tracy Braxton's niece, Tawanda Braxton's niece, and Trina Braxton's niece. This is the daughter of Mikey Braxton, who is the only brother of the Braxton clan. And this is his older daughter, His younger daughter died a few years ago. Um, she actually unalived herself, allegedly, and I believe it was a drug overdose. Nevertheless, hey, Miss Lady, um, she's talking about the fact that she was traumatized at 16 years old. Her aunt's husband at the time inappropriately made advances towards her. I don't know if there was just some real flirting going on. I don't know if they talked about doing something. I don't know what actually transpired, but there was something that was seen in Ashlee's text messages that her stepmother found in her phone that led her to believe that something was going on between Ashlee and her uncle at the time. The aunt was put on the phone. It was the dad, the aunt, and Ashlee all discussed what transpired. And the aunt at that time was very apologetic, hated that it had happened to her. But as time went on, the aunt separated herself from Ashlee and seemed to be blaming Ashlee for what transpired. Now, the thing is, Ashlee was 16 years old. This man was a man. He was grown. He was married to her aunt. Okay. She and her sister had spent time, significant time with the family. I want to say, and I could be interjecting here or incorporating parts she didn't say. I thought she said summer, but maybe it wasn't the summer. But she had spent some significant time staying with this aunt and the uncle made inappropriate advances to her. Okay. And she's just talking about basically how this has impacted her. Okay. Yeah, I think this next video is just her being somewhat positive, talking about how she's just grateful for the life she has. Let's listen.
I'm on my couch, writing in my journal, and just looking at my beautiful plant grow in its neighborhood and looking at the TV. I'm drinking my water and minding my business, and maybe I want to work. But where I'm not going is in any streets to see anybody. I'm just gonna stay right here, right here, right here, right here, and right there. I can't be the only one.
Cute apartment.
I'm on.
She's in Barcelona. Okay, let's see what else she has here.
Hey guys, I appreciate the love, the support. I think it's an important topic to talk about. But the whole point of me speaking about this situation was not to ostracize somebody, it was to actually shed light upon this sort of situation. And there's so many women and men and people in the world who have to be silenced. And the point was to voice what happened to me. There is no right way, there is no wrong way. There is other sides of the stories. I don't believe that I need to come out with a bang and with guns blazing. And it's not who I am. It's not actually my character. And it's not what I was intending to do. And so, as this is evolving, the point that I'm trying to make is that this happens to people, and people who are silenced should not be silenced, and you should not have to not talk about things that you have gone through. If you've gone through, your story is your story, no matter what. And if you want to tell your story, you can tell your story. What's the problem? That's the point about all of this. I tell my story so that I can encourage others to tell theirs. And maybe if I tell my story, and maybe if I share all the things that I've gone through in my therapy and all of these things that maybe somebody else will have the courage to either heal their own life or heal somebody else's life. That's the point about all of this. Um, so in all of this, I take it for what it is. There's no right way or wrong way to talk about it. Like, there's no such thing as perfection, and there was no perfect way to talk about it. However, there have been so many of you who have been sending me messages, who have been supporting me, who have been encouraging me, and who have opened their hearts and their lives and their stories up to me. And as I'm getting older, and as I'm developing into a woman, and as I'm going to have kids and all of these things that I get to be as a woman, the most important thing is that I get to be free, and I should be able to talk about whatever it is that I want to talk about. And if something has happened to me, I don't feel that I should have to be silenced. I should be allowed to talk about whatever has happened to me. Even as unfortunate as it is, it happened. And that's the reality. And I don't like living in a space and place where I don't get to accept my reality and I don't get to evolve as a person. So as I'm telling this story, that I just really truly hope that if you are someone out there and if you have felt this pain or you understand where I'm coming from, that you find the courage to find healing for you, because you're worthy, you deserve it, you're amazing, you're awesome, and you're beautiful. And that's literally it. It's not about who I'm talking about. The point that I'm trying to say is that if this has happened to you, please heal. And I've found my healing and I'm grateful for it. And if I can talk about it and help spread awareness, and if this is the way that the awareness is going to be spread, then let it be spread. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And I hope that you find the empathy that's needed to talk about these sorts of things. And if this has happened to you, I'm so sorry. In all areas and in all aspects of the situation, if this has happened to you, I am so sorry. But I just want to be able to talk about things that have happened to me and be free to express who I am and what I've gone through. And if I can share my story and encourage people, that's all I want to do. Okay? So, everyone, happy holidays. Have a good day. And thank you all for supporting me. And even if you don't support me, it's okay. We appreciate you too, because that's life. Anyway, thank you. Ciao.
Okay, let's move
Yes.
on.
Okay. I'm going to finish talking about this situation. And I just want to say that this is not easy. It's not fun. It's not something that I want to talk about. This is not for clout. This is not something that makes me happy to be able to speak and to talk about. So let's just get that cleared up right away. This is not a space and place for me to trash my family's name. It's a space and place for me to talk about something that I've gone through and to be able to make light of a situation that a lot of us have gone through that were completely silenced. And for the first time in a really long time, I just feel like I want to help other people and I feel free. And I just feel like if it can help people, then I'm more than happy to share what has happened to me. So a lot of you have been super awesome and shared with me and DM'd me your stories. Some of you have opened up the first time to me. And some of you have shared your stories of how you've gone off now to become like therapists. And some of you have said that you've moved and that you've taken your daughters and you're making sure that you stop the generational curse. And I'm just so grateful. And I've been trying to DM every single one of you back who has sent me a message, who has been so supportive. It's the reason why I talk about it. And it's made me so happy to hear these stories and just people talking about it, even if it's just for the first time or however. I've gotten so many messages about that. And I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. It's not easy. And I think you know that if you've gone through this, and it's probably one of the bravest things I've ever done. And I think about if I want to have my own kids, and this is for them too. And yeah, it's not an easy thing to talk about. So I just want to clear up some things and tighten up the parts of my story that I had to tell for the first time. I told that for the first time on TikTok, and I spoke about it with my therapist, and this was just what we decided to do, what we decided to talk about, how I decided to do it. And so the first time you do something, it's never easy, but you just do it. And I did it. And so that's kind of that. And it's also really hard for me to say all of the words that I want to say on social media, because you just get banned, and I don't want that to happen as I'm trying to tell the story. So I don't know if there's another space and place for me to talk about it. Maybe somebody has a podcast, maybe there's a stage, maybe there's another space for me to be vocal about it. Please send me a message, please send me a DM. It's not easy for me to talk about, and you'll see as I'm trying to find the words of how to navigate it, like it's just not easy. So if you have that available, please let me know. And also this, like as we start the new year, please, if you have friends, family, ask them these sorts of questions. Has this happened to you? And if they've said yes, please give them the safe space and place and energy that they need to be able to share their story. And if you are someone who has gone through this and you are feeling me right now, please look at me as an example and just understand that it takes so.
Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. It just says something about refreshing. Here, I'm going to unshare anyway for a moment while that's regrouping there. Thank you, Miss Lady. Thank you for being one of the first, or actually the first, to super chat. Thank you so much, Miss Lady. I appreciate you. Thank you, Aunt Natty. I appreciate the super sticker. All right. So just really quickly, something. So Sleepy Libra said, "I'm still here. Forgot that they had a brother. What's sister's husband?" So the belief is that they are talking about Trina Braxton. Trina Braxton's first husband. Well, I shouldn't say first husband. I believe it's the second husband for Trina. Gabe, the one who's passed away now. Supposedly it was him. Okay. Life Unleashed said, "Well, I think she should speak up." I think so too. I agree. Michelle Bolden, hello. "I think Ashlee is being set up by Tamar to come back to the States to do Tamar's podcast." Well, she was invited. She was actually coming in to to film the podcast live. I want to say it was in Atlanta at the City Winery on the 28th. So 2 days ago, Ashlee was, she's here in the States. I think she's been back for at least a week or so, because I want to say she went live from New York. And she's supposed to have come to Tamar's show 2 days ago to actually tell her story. Tamar told her that she was welcome to a safe space to have this discussion. And if you recall, Tamar admitted that she had been assaulted. She had been abused, assaulted, SA'd, if you will, as a young person. I don't know any details of that, but I do know that she claims it had happened as she was a young person. Now, I don't know who that was with. I knew I had my thoughts around who that was. I don't know that I write about it, so I don't want to say. But I do know that Tamar invited Ashlee to come and to be honest and to feel that, this was just a place for her to tell her story. Now, I would bet that Tamar has caught some level of backlash around it. I'm sure that this sister, if not multiple sisters, have had something to say about it, about Tamar allowing it to happen. But I wonder if Tamar was impacted by the same person or someone else. And again, I have my thoughts around who that could be. But anywho, so let me get back to this. Hold on. What's going on with my TikTok now? Okay. Okay, so let me find. Hold on. Hold on, Ashlee. Hold on, Ashlee, girl. Hold on, girl. Hold on. Okay, sis. Um, let's see. There's that generational. Okay. Here, let's play this one. Hold on. Because see, this girl has gone through other things too. As I mentioned earlier, she says that her mother, hold on,
Off of her, she took her name off of our birth certificate,
hold
and
on.
she had a whole nother.
Okay, this
Hi
young girl has
guys.
gone
All
through
right.
a lot. Hold on. She's gone through a lot because not only did she deal with this particular situation with the uncle, not only did she end up losing her sister, in recent years, but her mother, when she was a little girl, abandoned she and her sister. So this young lady has been through a lot, has probably seen a lot. So let's listen a little bit to what she shares here about childhood abandonment.
We're going to talk about childhood abandonment. And I'm going to tell the story of how my mom abandoned my sister and I when we were young. I was like 6. And she had a whole nother family. She took us off of her. She took her name off of our birth certificate, and she had a whole nother family, and she didn't want us to exist. She asked her family to make sure that her kids did not know that we existed. And so, hi. All right, first of all, how cute is this skirt? It's actually vintage, and I bought this skirt for €1. Like, if you could feel the authenticity of this skirt, it's amazing. All right, so I want to talk about this situation, and I'm not going to go into great detail because I did make a really good YouTube video about it, and I put it up, so you'll be able to watch it. But I did just want to come on here and speak to the people and talk and tell this story about what happened to me, and hopefully encourage you to find your own healing and just be able to share my story. Okay, so like I said, my mother decided to leave. And in that, I developed as a kid so much anxiety. It was very traumatic for me. I was a bedwetter until I was like 20 something years old, in my early 20s. And I just had really bad, extreme anxiety. But not only that, when you are a child who has been abandonment, you develop abandonment issues. And I developed anxious attachment. There's 3 different attachment styles, and I just developed the anxious attachment, which I go.
Let me say this. It's interesting that I think it's great how transparent she's being, because the fact that she mentioned bedwetting until her 20s, like, I'm sure she's not alone with that. I can't imagine having to deal with that when you are at an adult age and look, hell, you're dating at this time. God forbid you're bedwetting. Like, I can't imagine. But she can't be the only one that's dealt with that, right? Life Unleashed said, V, you should interview her. I have reached out to her. Don't know if, at this point, now that she's done Tamar's show, I don't know that she'll still want to do it, because at different times she kept saying she didn't want to necessarily continue to tell this story. She just wanted to tell it and be done with it. But I don't know if it really works out like that, Sleepy Libra said, is her claim SA or improper touching with the uncle? So here's the thing. So SA, just so you know, by definition, SA is inappropriate touching. SA is any type of physical contact with a person that is unwelcomed of a sexual nature. Okay? If I'm talking to you, and I say, hey, baby, why don't you come over here and let me do something to you or whatever, or boy, you sure are fine. And I go over and I touch the person, I can touch them on their arm. That is SA. If it's unwelcomed and it is, there is a sense that I am being flirtatious in any way, that is SA. Okay. Now we like to think that SA is only penetration, if you will, or some other maybe oral act or what have you. No, that is not true. If someone has touched you, if they slapped you on your behind, if they pulled up your skirt, if they kissed you without your permission, if they grab you, try to hug you, it doesn't matter. All of that is SA. All of that is SA. If I'm just talking nasty to you or around you, then that's sexual harassment. Okay. I don't even have to be talking to you to sexually harass you. I can be talking to someone else, and I could be talking about a scene that I saw in a movie last night, and I tell you all about the scene, and it's sexually explicit, what I'm describing, and I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to someone else, and that someone else is fine with the conversation. If you're sitting in my presence and it makes you uncomfortable, I have just sexually harassed you. At the point in which physical contact is made, then that is SA. Okay. One of those classes I've been teaching for 15 years. Okay. So, so to answer your question, it sounded like there was some inappropriate stuff happening between she and the uncle. She said nothing happened. She said nothing happened. She said that they were just, I don't know if, because it sounds like the stepmother came across some text messages between she and the uncle, right? And she said nothing happened, but based upon those text messages, it was clear that what was being said was inappropriate. And it sounded like maybe they were planning to do something, or there was some flirting, or something was going on. Okay? Something was going on, because when they brought it up to the aunt, guess what the aunt said? I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry this happened to you. So you recognized in that moment that something had transpired. Something was very wrong here. But even though you recognize that something was wrong and that this shouldn't be transpired, whatever this conversation was, it's not supposed to happen between my niece and my husband. Now all of a sudden she's the problem, you know, which is really jacked up. So, anywho, let's listen a little further. Let's listen to what she has to say here.
Go more into in my YouTube video. But as I'm on this journey of like telling everybody my story and all these things that have happened to me, hopefully you can correlate the story that I spoke about with one of my aunts into this story so that you can understand the work that I've done to be the person that I am today and to be the woman that I am today. And when you've been an abandoned child, it's something that you did not ask that happened to you. But as an adult, you have the responsibility of knowing that even though this crazy thing happened to you, you have to find it within yourself to rebuild yourself up, because you develop so much of a sense of unbelonging, of you're not worthy, you're not deserving, like you just, no one wants you, you're just like this unwanted thing. And what makes my story even more like just a lot for me is that, so when my dad remarried, my stepmother became like the woman in my life, but she wasn't the person that uplifted me. She was the person that would tell me that, you know, it's my fault that my mother left, and my mother left and took the money, and all she cared was the money. She didn't care about me. So I didn't have that moment to learn about like why my mom left. Also, no one in my family knows why my mother left. Like on my mom's side and on my dad's side, I've asked them all, and everyone's like, I have no idea. But I did ask my mom in 2018, and I actually screenshotted it and I put it in the YouTube video so that you can see like what I actually said to my mom, to be able to understand her and to be able to understand the situation and to have the empathy that I have for the situation, and not only the situation, but for myself. And so I've gone my whole life with my mother leaving, no one being able to tell me why she left, and having to hear for my like growing up that it's my fault that my mother left and that no one wants me and I'm just this like unwanted human being.
Now, here's my concern. Now, she might just be bringing up the fact that the stepmother was saying these things, and that's the loudest voice that she heard because it's your stepmom. You're in the house with your stepmom day in and day out, right? This is the person that you're around probably the most outside of, you know, being in school and that sort of thing. The stepmom is probably around her more than the dad is, because, you know, we know that the dad is a nurse. Maybe he was a nurse then, I don't know. But if he was, he probably worked long hours and stuff. Again, the stepmom and the mom tend to take the lead when it comes to the children. And I'm hoping, though, that the stepmom was not the only person in her life that was giving her any type of, that was impacting her self-esteem. Hopefully there were people that were saying positive things, like it's your mom's fault she left. Your mom left. It's not your fault. Your children, you are blessings. You know, who was saying that to her? I want to believe that there were people saying that, but because, you know, we're human, and even when people are saying great things, a lot of times we focus in on the negative. So I hope and pray that there were people around her that just weren't saying, I don't know why she left, but I hope they said, we don't know why she left, but it's on her. It's not on you. You two are beautiful. You are smart. You are blessings to this family. I'm hoping that that was happening too, even though I'm fully aware that sometimes we only hear the negative. But okay, let's listen. Oh, and Walking Puff on these YouTube streets, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. Okay.
And so what happens is that you develop this sense of unwantedness. You develop this sense of that you're not good enough. You're not worthy of anything or anyone. And it's only when my sister passed, which I have to say was literally the worst day of my entire life, because no one knows me like my sister knows me, and no one has gone through what I've gone through except for my sister. But it was also one of the best things that have happened to me, because I had to go. I mean, I just like stripped everything away and went straight into therapy and had to understand myself completely and heal. And in my moments of healing, I had to really relearn how to have empathy for myself, to rebuild my self-talk, to rebuild like how I speak to myself, how I think of myself. And I had to learn how to wake up every day and choose worthiness, because when you're a child, you're conditioned. And so I was conditioned to think that I was unworthy, and I just was an anxious person. And even now there's some moments in my life where I feel anxious, and it's just like this automatic thing. And I can sense it very easily, where my hands are like this and my body's like this. And I have to take a moment and I have to stop, and I can breathe and let it go and let it go down. But there's just something special in my heart about people and kids who have been abandoned, and the rebuild that you have to have, the rebuild of your life is crazy. And I have so much empathy for somebody like my sister who passed away using drugs, but just knowing that she was also just struggling. She just was a kid, and no one had any answers for this kid. And I think when people do drugs, they're just hurting and they're struggling. And
Now, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I feel like whenever you see someone, a lot of times it's easy to say, oh, this person is going through this, this, and this because they're on drugs. This person, if they would just get off of drugs, then these things would just go away. She wouldn't have these problems, or he wouldn't have to deal with this if he would just stop using drugs. Instead of understanding that nobody uses drugs for no good fucking reason. Now, that's not to suggest that drugs haven't been introduced to some people as a social thing, like when they're out kicking it with their friends and family or whatever. And then as time went on, you started using more drugs. That's possible. But 9 times out of 10, people are using drugs to self-medicate. Sometimes they have mental health issues. They know it. Sometimes they don't know it. They don't know what to do about it. And so they take something so that they can self-medicate themselves through whatever it is that's forcing them to feel the need to take something. I think in this case, this is a young girl. I want to say this girl was a teenager when she passed away. She was young. Hell, if she was 20, she was a baby. And we know for a fact that it was at least 10 years ago, because this girl's 32 now. And 10 years ago, she would have been 22. And her sister passed away, I'm not sure when, within those 10 years or something, or right before I don't know if it was before or after she moved to Europe. But this young woman is telling us she was abused as a child. She's telling us something happened when she was a teenager with her aunt's husband, right? Something happened. We're hearing that her mother left she and her sister. So these kids had a lot to deal with. Then they had a stepmother who sounds like a whole bitch. I don't know this lady, but if what this young woman is saying is true, then the stepmama was trash. So, it's unfortunate, but that's what I believe. I believe that this is not by some coincidence that people get on drugs. There's a reason why they're on it. Hey, Muffin218. Hey, Lovejoy. Hey, Miss HLS and Lovejoy. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, y'all. So okay, so let's get back into it here.
It just allowed me to have empathy for people and things and situations that I've never experienced before in my life. And so I'm sharing this with you, and please, it's so much better on my YouTube, but please, like, just know that you are loved, you are worthy, you are an endless ray of just love. And no matter what your childhood was, it is not a representation of who you are today. And maybe that unfortunate thing happened to you, but I promise you, you have so much empathy and so much amazing things to give to this world. So don't ever judge what happened to you as like who you are today. And I share all of this and my story just because I'm so proud of all the work that I've done to overcome all of this, but also to be able to encourage others to find their own happiness and to find their own healing. And I know my family and some people may think that me opening my mouth, that I'm not worthy to do that, that I'm not on your level, but I'm a woman too. And I've overcome so much in this life, and I'm so free. And I thought at the beginning of this year that I was lacking so many things in my life and that I was missing this and missing that. But what I found this year, and by me being able to share my story, is that I have a voice. And I'm starting this year with my voice, which is the biggest thing that I have. And I'm trying so hard to use it for good. So no one will ever silence me because I am worthy and I'm a human and I am beautiful. And I have learned for these things that I've gone through that I did not ask for in my life, I have turned them into me, just being me. And I'm so grateful for all of you for listening, for watching, for messaging me and communicating with me. And I just want to continue this journey strong. And so please, 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 please go watch this YouTube video. I'm so proud of it. And I'm so grateful for all of you. Anyway, I will continue this, but I'm just very grateful, guys. And I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for letting me tell my story. And I'm going to go, but I'm grateful. Please watch the YouTube video. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Okay, what's next?
Hey guys. All right. So I told you that I was going to keep it real with you on this journey, that you were going to be in it with me. And I'm going to give y'all some updates. So first update is that I got a message yesterday from my Faja, and he said to zip it up tight. Don't speak. I know just what you're saying. Don't speak, girl. And that he lawyered up, and that I shan't speak of his name or the household and other things, etc., etc. And, that he will take legal action. So I've decided to, again, not use his name, which I've been trying to do with everybody, not use anybody's names, but.
And let's be clear, she has not spoken anyone's name. She has not even said which aunt and uncle that was. But we know it could only be, well, I shouldn't say that. It didn't have to only be. Okay, so it has to only be. Well, no, it doesn't have to. Okay. Was Tony married while this girl was growing up? Absolutely. Was Tracy? Yes, absolutely. Was Trina? Absolutely. Was Tamar? Yes, absolutely. Was Tawanda? Yep, they all were married. However, there were a couple of context clues that she gave. One was this person was always treating you like this or treating you badly in front of the world. That could only be two people. Okay, on the show, as she said, it could only be two people. Okay, we know it wasn't Tony's husband because he was only on the show maybe once or twice and he barely talked when he was there. It was very little engagement with Tony's ex-husband. Okay, so it wasn't him. All right, it wasn't Vince. Okay, yeah, could it have been Tamar's husband? Sure, could have been, but we didn't see Vince treating Tamar nastily. Not if you ask me. If anything, we saw Tamar acting more like a spoiled brat than we ever saw Vince really saying anything crazy to Tamar. In fact, I would venture to say that there were so many times he let shit go that he was better than me. Okay, because my mouth, I would have said something. And it wouldn't have mattered if the cameras were running or not. So it's not Tamar and it's not Tony. It could only be, and it's not Tracy. Okay, it's definitely, it was not Tracy. Tracy, I believe, first of all, the sister that passed away, Tracy and that sister were super tight. They were super duper tight. In fact, we learned just how tight they were after her passing because Tracy had huge problem with that loss. While the family all struggled with the loss, I'm sure Mikey struggled because that's his child. I'm sure the grandparents struggled. But who really struggled, like in our presence, like let us know about it so we could tell, was Tracy. Tracy and Mikey apparently had a really good relationship, and the dad. The three of them used to get together pretty regularly, right? So the daughter, or the younger sister, I should say, was really tight with Tracy. Tracy was really broken up about her death. Tracy had I don't know if she had all of the ashes, but she had most of the ashes, I believe. From the niece's passing. Because as a matter of fact, that was something that was left in the will. Just so you know, thought that was interesting. Let's see. Miss Lady said, woo, every family has something and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Some bad, some worser. I know that's right. It either makes you or breaks you. So let it make you stronger. Glad she's thriving. Yes, absolutely. I agree completely. Yes, Miss HLS, the thought is it's Trina's husband. That is the consensus. That's who I figured it was. It was either Tawanda or it was Trina because both of those husbands they were assholes on there. But Gabe had more opportunities to be on the show than Tawanda's husband. Hey, Sally O'Malley. I think it was Tawanda's narcissistic ex-husband, not Trina's. I'm redballing. I don't think so. I mean, I get it. It's either one or the other, but the thought is the people believe it was Trina. Because now I will say this. I have gone back and forth too with thinking it could have been Tawanda because I remember Ashlee has been on the show. Ashlee has been on the show, and as a matter of fact, Ashlee sings, and you just heard her sing a little something here in a playful way. But she has sang backup for Tony, like if one of the other sisters couldn't do it, stepped in and been a backup singer for Tony. Um, so again, she's been around everyone. I want to say they were going to some award ceremony, and Ashlee was there with them. Because I remember her being on there thinking, my God, she looks so much. She looks, I mean, them Braxton, the Braxton jeans, they ain't no joke, okay? Because she looks like a Braxton, damn it. Okay. She looks like a Braxton. Lovejoy said, yes, that was a big loss for the family. It was. It was. And I never heard them talking about that particular niece and hadn't seen her, but that doesn't mean anything, right? Because they all seem to have a relationship with each other and each other's kids. So, yeah, Lovejoy, I think it was Trina as well. Miss HLS. I do too, Lovejoy. The entire family couldn't stand him. They really couldn't. They couldn't stand Tawanda's husband either. But Life Unleashed said Tawanda's husband was horrible, but Gabe was creepy as heck. Yeah. Like I could see it could, it could be either one of them. It really could have been because both of them were jerks, but we just got to see Gabe being the jerk more often. Hey, Danielle. All right. Yeah, ain't they strong, child? Okay. So let's get back into it, shall we? All right.
But I'll also like speak and say like according to my childhood experience. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop, that I'm going to be silenced. Everyone has the right to tell their story, and everyone has the right to say whatever it is that they want to say. So I made a really good YouTube video, kind of like just updating y'all about like how I've been feeling, because this is just what happens also when you decide to tell your story, that not everybody's going to agree with it. Not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody is going to, cheer you on. And it's a roller coaster. There's going to be moments where it is super awesome and amazing. And then there's just moments where you just don't feel good. But I talk a lot about having emotional intelligence. So if you head over to my YouTube, in the video, I also put a link of a worksheet that shows all the different types of emotions. We have to have emotional intelligence, and we have to understand what we're feeling, where we're feeling in our body, why we're feeling it. And also to just like start people off as kids so that when you're older, you're able to voice it. And it really helps with being able to talk and to go through these situations. It really helps. I also share this book, Healing Through Words. And this book is very, very, it's really about writing and healing. And I express a lot of that in the YouTube video. I also just talk about like what I'm looking forward to in the future and like what I'm manifesting. And I'm just manifesting being able to talk about all of this like on stages and workshops with you guys and retreats around the world where we just have these intimate groups where, trauma is allowed to be talked about, where we're just accepted and things happen to us that we did not ask for. You didn't ask for it, but you have to go through it. And, you should be rewarded for your strength for going through things like that. So I just go through a lot in that YouTube video, but right here on TikTok, y'all give me the space, the freedom to keep it real. And I love y'all for that. But yeah, that's a little bit of an update. And I have, I'm getting myself prepared and ready. I'm going to the States later on at the end of the month. So I'm just going to keep y'all on this journey with me, and I'm keeping it real. But I appreciate you all for always being there, always being supportive, telling me your stories. Like, y'all have gone through way worse stuff than I have, let me tell you. But I'm just voicing it. So I'm also getting a lot of messages of you guys that are like telling me stories about how like this past weekend you guys had a family meeting and talked about so many things. And this is just so awesome, so beautiful. You're breaking generational curses. You're creating generational wealth. You're just breaking barriers. You're being better humans. You're taking care of yourselves. You're loving yourselves. You're loving each other. And that's literally the only thing that I could have asked for. So I appreciate y'all for being just the best support system, the best support group. And I'm going to keep trying my hardest to be transparent and to show you what real life looks like, because this is it. All right. This is it with this hair too. No. All right, guys. I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.
She's a pretty girl.
Hey, you guys. All right, I'm coming to the US. I know. And I'm coming to the US January 28th to Atlanta to do Tamar's live podcast show. Now, before anyone says anything, please let it be known and let it be clear that as I am in this journey and in this process, and as I'm healing and like trying to understand all of this stuff, that it feels really good to have a family member behind me. Okay. So please, before anyone says anything, like, let me have that. It's been a really long journey, and it's been a really long journey of not having people behind me. It's been a long journey of people not believing me. It's been a long journey of what do I even say? How do I say it? It's been such a long journey. So no one also owes me anything in this, but the fact that she supported me from the jump, the fact that she, you know, I also just couldn't just leave. I couldn't just, I live in Spain. I can't just get up and leave. So she also just made it so accommodating, herself, her team, for me to be there, for me to just have, she told me that I can say whatever it is that I want to say. It is she just supports. And that right there already feels really nice. It's really not anyone's job to like be there, but just the fact that she is really cool. And I know that I decided to leave the US. I decided to move across the world. I also just, that's just my personality, who I am. And so it's not easy for everybody to always be there and always be supportive, but just the fact that she's doing this, for me, it's a lot. I appreciate it, and it says so much. And you don't know how much better I feel. Now, in this is not
Now, let me say this. I have felt in the past, someone here in the comments said Tamar always seemed to have a good heart. I always thought Tamar came across as a brat. I felt like she was a little over the top, not a little. I felt like she was very much over the top. She could be annoying, but I never thought she was a evil, bad person. I did feel like they probably spoiled her silly, allowed her to get away with a lot of bullshit, that she was definitely still spoiled in her adult age. I felt all those things, but I never thought that she was a bad person. And I do believe that because of her own experiences within this family dynamic, most specifically, that I could see her coming to the aid of Ashlee. I also think that, look, let's be clear. Another reason why I think it's Gabe. It could have been Gabe or Tawanda's husband. Like, we can't even get around that. It could have been either one of them. And Tamar didn't like either one of them. But Tamar very much disliked Gabe. Excuse me. And it wouldn't surprise me if whatever this young lady experienced, Tamar too could have possibly experienced something similar. She was much younger, not much younger than Trina, but younger nevertheless. And I don't know, I could just see if he would do it to this niece, why wouldn't he have done it to a younger sister or whatever, or tried it at least, or what have you. I think that Tamar has felt that her feelings have been dismissed time and time again. And maybe this is her way of allowing others in the family the safe space to share what their experiences have been. And again, this is another reason why I do not believe that Vince could possibly have been the person. Because one, we never saw Vince doing anything nasty towards Tamar. They may have gotten into arguments. Hell, most of the time I felt like he could have checked her better than he checked her. So I never saw him do anything that made me think he was abusive. But I do believe that it could have been Gabe. What you say? Hey, Miss HLSV, I bought that vitamin C serum that you had from your members live the other night. Uh-oh. Okay, so let's watch and see, honey. I just feel like it makes my face so soft. Like that with the turmeric cleanser. Like, yeah, it feels so good. Feels so good. So let me see. Let me know how it works for you, Miss HLS. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. All right. So let's finish listening to what she's saying.
A space and place where I'm going to be like talking bad about anybody, because that's not the purpose. Purpose of all of this in this instance is for me to show people that sometimes life brings you unfortunate circumstances. It can bring you abandonment. It can bring you dealing with abuse and all types and forms of abuse. And still being in a super awesome family, but there could be this trauma that's either generational, or maybe it's passed down to you from your mother's womb, or maybe it's just learned behavior that you learned from somebody else. It's just the fact that you can face it, that you don't have to place blame upon the other person, but you can find it within yourself to be better, to be stronger, to just overcome these issues and overcome these and be an amazing human being. And so if you're looking for tickets, I don't know if I could put it in this TikTok somewhere, but I will try to link it in my TikTok. And if it doesn't, I'll go to my Instagram. It's at Ashlee Braxton, and tickets will be there. So please let me know if you are coming, and tag me, write me. I'm active. There's so many of you who message me. I'm still going through it, but please let me know if you're coming. It is so important that I meet you. It is so important that I say thank you. It is so just important to me. And if you have your own story, and if I just influence you to think, to try to say, to get therapy, help, please let me know as well. It's so important that I meet you when I'm there. I can't believe I'm coming to the US. It's been, I don't know, since my sister passed away, I haven't been home. Obviously my choice. I do love Europe. I really do love America though. I love my country. I love where I come from. But I do have to say I love Europe. And it's just a moment. I'm still processing all of it, but in the process, I have to say that I'm really nervous, but I'm excited, but I'm scared, but I'm just so grateful that I get to share the stage with a family member, that I get to share the stage with my aunt, that I get to hold her hand.
Aww.
I get to hold her hand if I want to cry, and that it's just a moment for me. And to also just show people that Black girls fucking rock. So, I can't with all the crying. Hold on.
Poor baby. Look, this really got me, when I first saw this. And I can only imagine what she's experiencing. and how she feels about Tamar welcoming her. This can't make Tamar, well, look, they always had problems with Tamar. But surely this is not going to make Tamar very popular with whoever the sister is that we're talking about. Again, I believe it's Trina. It's my belief. Could be wrong. I'm sure we'll probably find out who it is. It'll probably be confirmed after we get to hear this podcast. I'm hoping that, I know that Tamar's podcast on the 28th was live in person in Atlanta. I'm hoping that they filmed it and that we will get to actually watch it, because I'm very interested to hear how she lays out this situation. So, and Miss HLS, yes, there is only one brother, and the rest are the girls, the 5 girls that we know of. So Miss Lady, you bought the Lemmy vitamins? Yes, honey, the Lemmy Smooth, honey. I hope it's Lemmy Smooth. Okay, when I tell you, I'm telling you, them mother suckers work. I don't care what nobody says, they work. Okay, yes. Shit, I gotta put them in my damn store. I'm gonna create my Amazon store, because I got tons of products that I'm using that if I'm gonna tell y'all about it, y'all might as well click my link to get it. Okay. What you say, Miss HLS? I would have never thought he was like this just from seeing him on the show. Who we talking about? The brother? You mean, okay, because all we know that the brother has done is that, which is more than enough, threatened his daughter, told her not to talk about the situation, and that if you talk about it, we suing. Okay, he did do that. 2, we do know that this brother got him a wife that was being kind of nasty to the kids, right? So I hope he handled her. I don't know if that man's still married to her or not. Yeah, I need to get the bloat ones. Yes, I need to get the smooth and the bloat as well. So yeah, it's interesting to hear. So let her finish up her part.
God, I'm tired of crying. But it's a part of the healing, but goddamn, I'm tired. So let me know if you guys are going to be there. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very excited. And all of you have just been on my YouTube commenting, emailing me, like sending me notes, and I'm catching up to get to everybody. But all of you, like, I need all of you to understand how awesome you are. And I need y'all to like just see how your support is affecting me, and it's helping me, and it's making me feel not alone every single day. And I'm tired of crying, but at the same time, I want to be the most raw and vulnerable thing, and to go through this process as real and honest as I possibly can, so that I can come out and just soar. So thank you guys so much. Let me know. Please tag me. Please find me. Get your tickets. I'm so excited. And yeah, I'll see you guys. So thank you.
All right. So I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to cover from there. Okay. So let me undo that. Now let me show you stop sharing that. Let me show you a video. This is a clip of Trina and Gabe when they were going through one. I want to say this is after they broke up. They went on Fix My Life. And I want to share this clip really quickly. So after they broke up, I think they were still trying to figure out how to navigate their friendship or co-parenting. Even though those kids aren't his kids, they were essentially his kids to him. They were father to them, but I think some of that changed too after they broke up. But this is a clip of them from Iyanla Fix My Life. And I want you to sort of see something he says during this. Oh, sorry, yeah. Okay, let's say it.
The time has come for Gabe to finally speak his truth to Miss Trina so that both of them can begin the new lives they say they want. Why did you marry him?
I did love you, and I enjoyed being with you. And you had something that I didn't have. You were very outgoing, but I don't know how to put my mind on it, but you
Close your
resembled.
eyes and go in there and get it out of your heart.
You resembled something I was used to.
Which is?
Which was being belittled and bullied, pushed around.
Okay, tell me what's happening. I didn't know. You didn't know. Good. Because you didn't tell her.
Now, let me let this play.
What I wanted to tell you and didn't know how is. It's okay, Gabe. That's okay. Close your eyes and feel it. It won't kill you. Take your time.
I'm mad and angry for letting you bully me around and push me around.
And how I experienced you is?
How I experienced you was mean.
Speak that.
Hurtful, and painful. And you became like an enemy to me.
And it reminded me of...
And it reminded me of my whole life.
It's no surprise that Gabe stayed in relationship with Trina. Like hundreds of thousands of other people, he tried to resolve his unspoken childhood issues by acting out the same patterns in his marriage, hoping things would be different, but unaware of how to make that happen.
So that had me wondering. Now, look, I know we saw him being a jerk. We saw him being disrespectful to Trina, the marriage, all of that. However, at the same time, do you think that sometimes, so it sounds like, for one, he said, you reminded me of something familiar. So that leads us to believe, is he having flashbacks of how he was treated by his parents? And 9 times out of 10, it almost feels like he is speaking to possible mommy issues. It could be a daddy issue, but it probably is a mommy issue. Did he feel that his mom had been a bully to him and pushed him around and disrespected him, and being mean to him? Possibly. Maybe that is why he stayed in relationship with Trina, and maybe that is why he stayed in relationship with Trina and did things to disrespect and get back at Trina with some subconscious desire to get back at whoever that parent was or person was that treated him that way as a kid. It's just a thought. That's not an excuse. It does not give anybody free reign to be disrespectful and be an asshole just because, you're being an asshole. I mean, I know we like to justify things that way, but they had many opportunities to break up and try to break up and kept getting back together and all that foolishness. But it also made me wonder, because here's the other thing. I recall Trina's current husband saying just recently in this last season, one of the first couple of episodes, because I actually haven't watched the entire season. I only saw the first couple of episodes. And the current husband says that he always felt he was very uncomfortable with how she mourned Gabe, that he didn't understand it. If Gabe was this terrible husband to you, he did all these things to you, why are you this broken behind the death? And it seems as if he questioned whether or not she still loved him, because of the way how hard she took his death. And I was honest about, I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. It made him feel a way. I'm also beginning to think that there are things about Trina that we just don't really know, right? That we never considered where she was concerned. Hey, Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame. Lovejoy said, you think it's a mom issue? It's feeling like it could have been a mom issue. Nomad Culture says Sonya needs to follow her so she can start her healing process. And that's true. God knows I love Iyanla Vanzant, okay? Love her to pieces. I had a chance to work with her one day. It was we spent 2 days together. And it was not too long after she lost her daughter, which is about 6 months after I lost my father. So we had a nice little conversation about loss and recovering from loss and all of that. She was very, very kind. But yes, I agree. I feel like we all could stand to get some healing, and make sure that we've healed from all of our childhood traumas and whatnot. What else? Now, there is an interview, and we won't get into it tonight. There is an interview. Oh, let me show y'all this though real quick before we get into it. Because now Tawanda's husband, here, I'll show you a picture of him. Might hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is Tawanda's husband. Man on. Uh-oh. Is it coming up? Can y'all see it? It's still trying to come up. Oh, I see what's going on. Close. Let's see. Hold on. It moved. Hold on. Hold on. Where'd it go? Okay. It had one of those. Hope it doesn't pop back up. Okay, hold on. Hopefully it won't pop back up. It's one of those ad pop-ups came up. That's why y'all couldn't see the faces. All right. Okay. So this is Wanda. The young man on the far left in the red and black shirt, that is actually Tony Braxton's son. I believe that's Diesel. And then the other two children are Tawanda's children, and that is her ex-husband, Andre. Now, Andre was an asshole. Okay? Asshole. Andre, I liked less than I liked Gabe. And I couldn't take Gabe. Okay? I was not feeling Gabe at all, which was Trina's ex-husband. But this one right here, I really dislike him. And some of you, if you follow Iyanla for many years, Iyanla used to be on the show. They brought her in to replace her name, Randa. There's a show called Starting Over. Used to come on in the mornings, Monday through Friday, child. Came on every day. And it was like a reality show that was for self-help. And all of these women had these different things they were facing in life. And they were trying to start over. Some through divorces. Some were wanting to pursue whatever it is. Long story short, Tawanda, we got to know her first from there because she came on the show. She felt like she didn't have a voice in her family. She wanted to pursue a music career, a solo career, but I think she questioned if she was good enough to do it because Tony was the big star in the family. Tamar was a spoiled sister. They had some kind of issue. She and Tamar came on the show for a minute. For like a day or so. I don't know what we got out of that. Not much. But the real issue was between her and this raggedy ass husband of hers. Okay. He was a jerk. And he made people believe that he was going to treat her differently. And that things were going to be different with them. And honey, by the time this show came on years later, and we were seeing them, he was still up to the same ridiculousness. In fact, we saw more ridiculousness because, they only had so much time to show us anything that was going on Starting Over. But with this show, the Braxton Family Values, we got to see them in their own element, right? And he was an asshole. Okay? He just was an asshole. Period, point blank. Okay, it just is what it is. All right. So it's Andre. Now, I don't know if Andre did anything or not to that girl, but I still feel like it really is what's my jigger. That is. Now, we're not going to get to this on tonight, but I think we're going to come back. Okay. Because we've been out here 2 hours already. But I think I'm going to come back. And here, I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see. Hold on. So there was a interview that Ashlee did 3 years ago. Okay. And she's talking about childhood abuse. I think it'd be interesting. I'm going to try and watch it. I'd rather watch it with y'all. But I might try to skim through it to see, what does she say? Is there anything that we can pick up from here where we learned about maybe what her experience had been, as a child growing up? But this is a lady that she did a podcast interview with. And this woman, she has like a English accent, a British accent. So, there's that. But it was 3 years ago that Ashlee was on here discussing her experience. So it'll be interesting to see how much she revealed in this. And does it at all touch on what happened with her aunt's husband or no. I wonder how much she's going to share about her sister's loss. It'll be very interesting to see what comes out of it. So this is an interview that I would like for us to come back to. And I'm still on the lookout for the interview she did with Tamar. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to see that for ourselves. And yeah, there's that. All right. So to everyone, thank you very much for being here. I didn't make my goal, but I did. I'm blessed by your gifts today. Okay. It is okay. Today was the first day I ever set a goal. I'd never even seen that option pop up before, as far as setting a goal for super chats, whatever. So anywho, that was just my stab at trying that out for the first time. And it'll be interesting when I set a goal and I meet that goal. I wonder what that looks like. So anywho, Danielle said, I watched that. I've loved Iyanla since my 20s. Me too. I was, like I said the other day, I was first introduced to the Iyanla Vanzant books and her teachings and stuff when I was going through a divorce, or what I thought was going to be a divorce. It wasn't a divorce at that time. And my mother-in-law actually introduced me to Iyanla, gave me what still stands as my favorite Iyanla Vanzant book, and one of my favorite go-tos, which was called One Day. One Day I Just, oh my God, it's my favorite. One day, my heart opened up one day. Oh, Jesus, let me look this up, because this is a sign that I need some of that, what's that, ginkgo biloba, or whatever it is. I need whatever is good for the memory, because one day my soul just opened up. That's the name of it. One Day My Soul Just Opened Up is the name of the book. It's 40 days and 40 nights of meditations and prayers, and it's just a great book where Iyanla sort of lays out like what she was taught about who God was, and basically she walks us through her life. She's very, very transparent. She doesn't tell you a whole bunch of good stuff. She tells you a bunch of crazy things that she's gone through, but that she's lived through and thrived through. So yeah, anywho, what'd you say? I wore that purple out. I have that one too. You have that one too? I love that book. One Day My Soul. I have all of her books, but One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. Man, it's still a great go-to. Hell, that might be another thing. I might do that one once we get through Blue Like Jazz. What I might just start doing is the 40 Days and 40 Nights, the One Day My Soul Just Opened Up book, because we could do that in 40 days. And it's really short chapters and stuff. I loved it. I love it. Wait, what'd you say, Lovejoy? I don't mean tell us your actual goal, only that you are trying to reach a goal on your live. We got you. Oh, thank you. This was my first time doing it, so I don't even know what y'all can see versus what I do on my side. And it was literally the first time that I even saw where I could even set the goal. So I didn't know what I was doing, to be quite honest. But thank you, Lovejoy. Thank you. Hey, Mrs. B&3. All right, Mrs. B&3, towards the goal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Child, it's no big deal. What did you say? Yes, I mean the purple book. Oh, you mean the purple? What purple book? Which one was the purple book? Was it the one In the Meantime. Was that one the purple book? I tell you what other one I liked was the one where she tells her life story in it. I have to pull out my Iyanla stuff, child. I love me some Iyanla. But anyway, I'm gonna try to get through some of this interview that Ashlee did, and I'll be on the lookout for her her interview with Tamar, because I think that's the one that's going to give us the tea we really, really, really looking for. Miss Lady, if you don't go somewhere and sit down, it's late. You go to bed. Okay, Miss Lady? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So let's get the hell out of here. You guys get some really good sleep. Oh, you're talking about the daily affirmation. She did a couple of those. What was the first one? Do I have it right here? Acts of Faith. You might be talking about Acts of Faith. The other one is Faith in the Valley. That was a good one. I think are you talking about Acts of Faith? Girl, did you just do this again? Miss Lady, you so bad. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out, y'all. Miss Lady. Did you do it again? Miss Lady, you're gonna get your ass beaten if you don't stop it, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, Danielle. I used to carry this. I used to carry it too. I used to one day my soul just opened up. I used to keep that one with me. Y'all, let me get the hell out of here because Miss Lady is bad. Miss Lady, if you don't stop it, I'm serious. Anywho, I will pull up that book and we will try and do that one too after I'm done with Blue Like Jazz. All right. So let me get the hell out of here. Thank you everybody for joining us on today. Thank you for, staying up late with me. I know many of you have stuff to do in the morning and I do too, actually. But I'm glad that you decided to spend some time with me on tonight. Okay. On tonight. Miss Lady, I can't tell if you just did this bullshit again or not. It looks like you did at 12:52. I am sick of you. Oh my God, Miss Lady, goodbye. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming. I love you to pieces. And I'll see you back tomorrow. Smooches.